only the cell phones, everything, etc. started. This Airtel, Magic Prepaid, etc. So it started there only. At the time we did not have anything, sir. Not like these number of service providers. At the time only one. BSNL used to provide. If not BSNL, then Reliance. Then this Airtel, etc. entered into the market. Got it? So on telecommunication service. 3. In India, life insurance is not compulsory, but insurance other than life insurance is compulsory. Correct? No one will ask you, do you have life insurance policy? No? Okay, fine. Have you taken general insurance for your vehicle? No, sir. Pay fine. Okay. So on insurance other than life insurance, service tax was payable. These were the 3 services. Only 3 services. When in year 1994. Then what happened? These number of services starts increased and it went to 120 services. 120 services approximately. But think practically from a student perspective, not from the tax department perspective, from the student perspective. How a student can remember 120 services? Is it possible? Not possible. Fine. Come from tax department's perspective. Only these 120 services, and in these 120 services, day by day the business, new type of business they are bringing out, and this new type of business, okay, bring it under service tax. Okay. These child accountants, caste accountants and company secretaries were escaped. Okay, bring them also. These commercial coaching centers escaped. Okay, bring them also. In every finance act, that is finance act will be passed every year. In every finance act, so there will be some new insertion of services. It went to 120 services. So then there should be a full stop. What happened? This is positive list. Means only these 120 services. If you are providing these 120 services, you are required to pay service tax. Otherwise, you are not required to pay service tax. This was the scenario. But now what happened? They have specified some services as negative list. If you are providing that services, no need to pay service tax. But if you are not providing that service, if you are providing a service, no doubt you have to pay service tax. Understood the concept? Movement from positive list to negative list. In case of positive list, if you are providing those services, you are required to pay service tax. Otherwise, no need. But now, negative list means if you are providing that service, no need to pay. Otherwise, you have to pay service tax. Means everyone is covered under the service tax levy. Everyone is covered. Sir, I am providing a service which you have mentioned under negative list. Okay, fine, you don't pay. You are excluded. Got it? So this is how we have changed from the positive list of service tax to negative list of service tax. Got it? So it came only in the year 1994. So in 1962 when Customs Act came, they have not recognized the concept of services. So in that case, customs duty was payable only on export of goods. Then on export of services, what is payable? Service tax payable. What do I mean by payable? In any transaction, there will be originator and successor. In any transaction, there will be originator and successor. For example, in a transaction of sale, who is the originator and who is the successor? Seller is the originator. Who is originating the transaction? Who is beginning the transaction? Seller is the originator and buyer is the successor. Okay. Who has the liability to pay tax? In that case, which tax will come into picture? Sales tax. In case of sale, originator is seller and successor is buyer. Who has to pay tax? Buyer or seller? To garment. To garment. Seller. Okay. Always the originator has the liability to make payment of tax to the garment. That's what I mean as payable. Sales tax payable. When you are seller, you are selling goods within India. Sales tax payable means you are required to pay sales tax to garment. And you are required to pay customs duty to garment. You are required to pay service tax to garment. Like that. And here, excise duty payable. What does it mean? You are required to pay excise duty. In a transaction of manufacture, who is the originator? Manufacturer. And who is the successor? Consumer. Ultimate consumer. Who consumes that product. Correct? Next, now come for purchase. Now you are not acting as originator here. You are the successor. Understood? The same person who is a seller can be buyer. He is seller of finished goods but buyer of raw materials. Correct? So he is now what? Successor. In this case, will he pay tax to government? No. Then what he will do? Today, if you are buying a pen, in that pen there includes an element of tax. What does it mean? Without paying money, you are not getting the product. So it is sales tax paid. Paid to whom? Paid to whom? Paid to the previous person, originator, who in turn will pay it to the government. Understood? So when you are purchasing goods, you are not at the beginning end, but you are at the last. When you are at the last, that is when you are at the receiving end, what you will do? You will pay it to the person, seller. Okay, I will pay it to you. You don't ask me. And it is his responsibility to pay it to the government. Sir, why should not I pay? Why are you worrying? It's simple. Always tax department try to catch at the beginning instead at the end. How? There is a seller. Say in this street there are 50 households. There is a seller, single seller. If you collect tax from the household, from how many people you have to collect? 50. If you collect tax from seller, 1. Which is best for administration? Got it? This is the root cause for indirect tax and this has been implemented in TDS. Simple. This is what TDS is. Tax deducted at source. See, when more number of assessees are there, I cannot catch them. It's very difficult for me because I don't have that much funds to administer them. Instead, I will catch the source. If I catch the source, okay, there will be very few people, so I will ask them to pay. Understood now? That is the logic. So, when there is a buyer, the buyer will pay the tax to the previous person. Who is the previous person in our case? Seller, and he will pay it to the government. Okay. So, in this case, when you are purchasing goods within India, what is that? Sales tax? Paid or payable? Sales tax paid. When the goods are purchased outside India, what is the general rule, sir? Originator should pay tax or duty, correct? Originator should pay tax or duty. But in this case, when goods are purchased outside India, where the originator is located? Outside India. Can government of India go and ask him? Not possible. So then what is the remedy available? Shift from the person who is located outside India to person who is located in India. Who is the person located in India? Purchaser, that is importer. Got it? Now you got. In case of customs duty, customs duty is payable not only on exports but also on imports. Why, sir? Because even though the general rule is that originator is liable to pay the duty, but the originator is not located in India, he is located outside India, and it is not practically possible from him to collect the duty. So the duty liability has been shifted from the originator to the successor, that is importer. Got it? So in this case, it is customs duty paid or customs duty payable? Payable. Why? Because you have to pay, the importer has to pay. And this is known as reverse charge. Understood? What is reverse charge? Generally, originator has the liability to pay. But in some cases, the liability gets shifted from originator to successor, and that is known as reverse charge. That shift of liability from originator to successor. Okay? Understood? Next. When services are received within India, tell me whether it is service tax paid or service tax payable. When services are received within India, paid, because you are received, means service recipient. What you will do? You will pay it to the service provider. Example, take Airtel postpaid connection. Okay, Airtel telephone connection. In this case, whenever you are getting a bill, whenever you are paying the bill, you are paying not only the charges but also service tax, correct? Service tax 12.36% means you are a service recipient. Are you paying to government? No. You are paying it to the Airtel service provider, and service provider has to pay it to the government. Got it? So in this case it is service tax paid. You are at the receiving end. You are receiving services, purchase of services. Okay? Then here service tax paid or service tax payable. Why? Service provider is not located in India. Same concept. Service provider is located outside India. So this is called as import of services. In case of import of services, it is service tax payable. Okay? Now understood? Based on this chart, tell me how many taxes or duties you can find? 4. What are they? Sales tax, customs, service tax, excise. There are only 4 indirect taxation. And if you observe, each and every tax is based on one event. Correct? Is based on an event. What is that event? In case of excise, the event is manufacture. In case of sale, the event is sales. That is, in case of sales tax, the event is sales. In case of service tax, the event is provision of services, including import and export of services. And in case of customs, it is import and export of goods. Correct? So, now we can draw to a conclusion that indirect tax is a event-based taxation. What does it mean? Only on happening of an event, the liability will be attracted. Only on happening of an event, the liability will be attracted, and we can tell that indirect tax is an event-based taxation, not like income tax, wherein only when you earn income you have to pay tax. Correct? Whereas in case of indirect tax, it does not matter whether you earn income. Don't compare consideration. Don't combine consideration with income. Income is different and consideration is different. Consideration is the gross what you get. Income is the net. Okay? So whether you get income or not, whenever the event happens, you have to pay. But in that, again 2 classifications. Whenever an event happens, you have the liability of indirect tax. In that also again 2 classification. In case of duty, irrespective of consideration, you have to pay. In case of tax, only when there is consideration, you have to pay. Now you understood? See, this is the basic concept, basic concept on which the entire indirect tax is built. Okay? Because at any point of time, we should not miss here. Okay, this is the basic thing. Event. Mark my word, event is the point. Only on happening of an event, tax is payable. Okay, the duty liability is attached. Now you can find the difference. What is the difference between paid and payable? Tell me. When you are required to pay an amount of duty or tax to government, we call it as payable. When you are paying it to previous person who in turn pays it to the government, we call it as paid. In the place where you need to use payable, don't use the word paid. In the place where you need to use paid, don't use the word payable. It amounts to gross mistake. Please. Okay. So wherever you are using, sir, what matters when I use the word paid or payable? It matters a lot. It matters a lot. Whenever you are using the word just like that paid, which means you are not taking the liability, you are shifting it to the other person. Whenever you are writing answer in the exam, please be careful. Don't use the word payable in the place of paid. Okay? Fine. Have you copied this chart? Everyone? Okay. Now we will move on to the another area. The another area is reverse charge. Even that we have discussed. What is reverse charge? Shifting of